Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between an ensign and explain just what the heck is an ensign. So this is a pretty common question that we get asked here on the battleship. What is an ensign? Why does ensign mean two different things? Well, like everything else with me, there's no short answer. The national flag that flies on the fantail of a ship is called the ensign. In the American Navy, the ensign is the same as everybody else's national flag. However, some navies have a specific naval ensign that they fly that is separate from their actual national flag. Like the United Kingdom, the Royal Navy has a specific flag that they fly from the back of Royal Navy warships. The old Imperial German Navy was the same way. And then they've also got their national flag, which is a little bit different. So the flag on the ship is called the ensign to imply that it is a naval flag. So speaking of flying the flag off the fantail at the back of the ship, this is where you would fly the national flag when you're in port. You would also fly a naval jack from the bow at the same time, which is also different from any other national flag. Whenever you're leaving port to get underway, you would shift colors from the fantail to the mast. Ensign comes from the Latin word insignia. It was a banner or flag or other token that was flown to denote a different unit or a nationality, whatever the case may be. So not only does it mean an actual insignia, a flag, it also came to mean the person who carried it. And so some militaries have a rank called ensign. Typically in early modern field armies, ensign was an infantry rank and not a naval rank. It was the lowest rank of officer, and typically each company, and depending on the country and the year, a company is loosely 100 men. It's roughly the number of men that an officer personally knows and can command. So typically, and in the US it's called a company. In other militaries it's slightly different. But a group of, sometimes it's as low as 80, sometimes it's higher than 100. But it's typically a group that socially they're all able to know each other's name, which is somewhere around 100 people that you can keep tabs on. And typically an organization like that would have 3 officers: a captain, his lieutenant, and an ensign. The ensign would carry the ensign. The ensign is the junior-most officer. He is flying that unit's flag. That way, a larger commander, a general, say, can now see where all of his units are based on all of their flags. So the early United States Army used this European-style rank structure. However, by the end of the War of 1812, they got rid of the rank of ensign. Typically, it's a colors sergeant who was carrying the flag in the American Army after that. And so in U.S. parlance, the rank of ensign just drops out of use entirely. Until the Civil War. And that's when ensign becomes a naval rank. Ensign is the lowest rank of commissioned officer in the Navy, so it would be an O1 rank. I'm not sure how the Civil War Navy chose that. It's not really a rank that shows up in other militaries. The Army has started calling that O1 rank second lieutenant, as opposed to lieutenant, which is above that. So somewhere out of the blue, maybe because it was a rank that was no longer used, the Navy pulls the rank of ensign back as the lowest ranking officer. Previous to that, the lowest ranking officer was the midshipman. A midshipman is often somebody who's underage, serving in the military as an officer in training, until they be promoted to a lieutenant. Shortly before the Civil War, the Navy stopped assigning midshipmen to ships and instead created the Naval Academy, the cadets at which are called midshipmen, officers in training. So they needed a new rank to denote the lowest rank of officers on a ship who is done with training but is not that old traditional rank of midshipman. And typically, a midshipman, when they graduate from the academy, gets promoted directly to lieutenant junior grade. An ensign would be someone who goes through some other system of schooling and then goes through a different Navy training cycle to become the lowest rank of officer on ships. And so during the Civil War, when the U.S. Navy balloons from less than 100 ships to nearly 1,000 vessels, the officer corps also had to expand, and they had to pull people from civilian life and create a lower rank for them. And so somewhere they chose the rank ensign, and that has stuck, in the U.S. Navy at least, to the modern day. Another rank you might hear is the bull ensign. The bull ensign is typically the highest ranked ensign on the ship. So ensigns, as well as other junior officers, have a single gold bar on their uniform. They're called a butter bar. It's kind of a derogatory term. They don't know anything, they're brand new, and yet they're in charge of sergeants who have been in the military for 20 years and enlisted guys who are masters of their crafts. So they use the term butter bar to describe them. The bull ensign is the ensign who has been an ensign the longest. They've got the most seniority. So they are in charge of all of the low-ranking guys. And they get to wear one of the bigger type insignias you would wear on your hat on their collars instead of the regular smaller collar device. So what do you think? Do you find having the word ensign mean two different things, even though they're from the same root word distantly, to be confusing, or do you think it works? Do you think the Navy should have kept the rank of midshipman as the lowest rank of officer afloat? Or do you like that they changed it to something else? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description if you'd like to continue donating. You can also support the museum by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about our channel and what we do. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to spend an evening with me and other battleship enthusiasts and support the museum, Saturday, January 8th, we are hosting a meet and greet on board the ship. This starts at 4:30 and will probably run to about 9 p.m. During the talk, I'm going to answer questions from people like you, and also we're going to talk about my opinions on a couple of my favorite questions. One of them, what would a modernized Iowa-class battleship look like in 2022? And another one, what would have happened if Battleship New Jersey was in the San Bernardino Strait? Those are just a couple of the questions. We'll have some other ones, and again, you guys can submit questions. This talk probably will not end up on the YouTube channel, and if it does, it'll be months before it happens. So if you're in the area and you want to support the museum, I'd love it if you came out and met me. The winter is traditionally a very slow time for the museum, so coming out and participating in events like this really helps us get through to the next busy season. There's a link in the description below with more information if you're interested in attending.